You're listening to At Home in Connecticut, your guide to all aspects of daily living in Connecticut. Hosted by Bill Pierce and produced by WTIC News Talk 1080.
Good morning and welcome. My guest this morning is Aileen Yeager, who is Program Manager with the Children with Incarcerated Parents Initiative. Aileen, good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning to you, too. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we're pleased to have you here this morning to talk about something that perhaps many people don't, and I don't know a whole lot about it, and that's why we wanted to have you in today to talk about it. Just give us some information about the initiative, exactly what it is and what it does.
Sure. Thank you. Since 2008, the Central Connecticut State University Connecticut Initiative for Children with Incarcerated Parents has been studying the population and its service needs, its prevalence in the state, and working with providers to try and identify services that can support children while they're enduring the incarceration of their parent. We've also been working with faculty to help evaluate those services so that we can learn what different types of interventions support kids and which ones maybe don't.
How much do we know? Do we know how many children in the state that you're dealing with have parents who are incarcerated?
Yes, we have an estimate. About 18,000 children in Connecticut have a parent incarcerated, which is, you can imagine, is an astounding number. We have approximately 62,000 a year that have a parent arrested, which alone can be traumatizing. And so this is a serious population in our state that warrants attention.
Now, what kind of effects? I mean, you mentioned it can be very, very stressful and create anxiety in children. What are the effects primarily on children that have been found who have parents who are behind bars?
As you can imagine, with any child that's suddenly separated from their parent, there's a ripple effect of consequences on children who have a parent that becomes incarcerated. And although children are quite diverse, children with incarcerated parents are quite diverse within themselves, they do face the potential for disrupted attachment, trauma, stigma, shame, and reduced health and well-being.
Are there any misconceptions out there regarding children with parents who are in prison?
Unfortunately, there are some faulty statistics that have been widely used. People have stated that 7 out of 10 children with incarcerated parents will end up incarcerated themselves, and that children with incarcerated parents are 6 times more likely than other kids to end up involved with the criminal justice system. And we actually worked with Dr. Jim Conway from Central's Psychological Sciences Department, who conducted a study to research that data, because nationwide people have long stated those statistics were inaccurate and were really causing children, is really exacerbating the stigma against them and the negative perception about their likelihood of success in the future. And through Dr. Conway's research, we learned that the numbers are wildly inaccurate. There is a slight increase in the likelihood of criminal justice involvement. It's about 3 times as likely, and 3 out of 10 children with incarcerated parents may end up involved with the criminal justice system. But it's not nearly the statistics that have been stated. And when you couple that with the research on health, trauma, and stress, it's been shown that just the separation alone from a parent can cause traumatic symptoms in children, and it can actually lead to changes in their brain architecture, which of course then has consequences for their development.
And it's traumatic trying to grow up, and no matter what the situation is, when you've got a parent who is not in the home, then that puts pressure on the other parent, or perhaps there's another person in their lives involved, somebody else, perhaps a family member who becomes involved in their lives, and it's very disruptive to what many people would consider family.
Right. It puts a lot of strain on the remaining caregiver, assuming it's even the same caregiver. Some children, of course, get moved to live with other people. But assuming the child is fortunate to remain with the caregiver that they know and are used to, that caregiver now has a host of additional stressors and the loss of the support of the other parent, the loss of their financial contribution to the home, and then the added costs associated with incarceration. So so the stress in the home is exacerbated, is significantly increased, which of course causes additional harm on the child.
And just all of the responsibility falling to that one person, you mentioned the financial end of it, that can result in them having to work much more than they want, and perhaps having the children left alone at home much more than they should be.
Right. Approximately 65% of caregivers that have another caregiver incarcerated says that they can't meet basic needs. And several have cited not being able to take jobs because of childcare concerns because the other parent is incarcerated. So parents are left with this difficult decision of, do I work and provide for my family and leave my child maybe in the care of someone who's less trustworthy or I don't know that well, but I can actually afford that person, and then I can produce an income for my family? Or do I not accept a job and I'm forced to accept public assistance just so that I can be home with my child and raise them and support them? Because the child is enduring some serious emotional and psychological difficulties, potentially. And of course, the caregiver is as well, as they're also suffering the loss of the person that was involved with their family.
And just being a child and growing up and coming of age, that can be pressure enough even with both parents in the house.
Yes, I have a wonderful, beautiful stepson, and it's challenging having an intact, wonderful family and an amazing young man in the house.
Yeah.
But it's stressful. There's a lot of challenges, and it's so helpful having another person in the home to co-parent with and to share responsibilities and to make decisions about the family with. So having all of the added stressors that are associated with parental incarceration, not to mention the stigma that's associated with it. So, it's one thing to have a family member separated from their family due to something as esteemed as a deployment in the military. There is a series of challenges associated with that as well, but at least you can go to school and you can talk to your neighbor and your friends' parents, tell them why your parent's not there, and get support and have people tell you that your parent's a hero. And there's plenty of resources committed to those families, as there should be. But these children can't necessarily go to school and get the support from teachers or from their friends' parents who may have a stigma or, have a bias against families with somebody that's criminal justice involved. So it's a real host of challenges that these families endure, and they're a hidden population. Many people aren't aware of their existence, and certainly not the prevalence.
No, and people frequently don't want to talk about it even when it does exist. We have just a couple of minutes left here, and before you go, Aileen, can you tell us what does the initiative have coming up in the future?
We actually just launched a new website, which we're very excited about. It is intended to provide information to practitioners and policymakers, but for me, most importantly, to families, because of stigma, this is a population that is at times intentionally in hiding, and therefore they're not able to access information when they have questions. So we're hoping our website will be helpful to them. It also includes a children's section, which includes children's graphics and language appropriate for them to help answer some of the questions that they may have. We're just awarded a new contract to a provider that's going to provide mentoring and literacy program for children in the greater Bridgeport, greater New Haven, and greater Hartford areas. The program is through Connecticut Appleseed and is called CLICK, Connecting Through Literacy, Incarcerated Parents, Children, and Caregivers. We're very excited about that. And we have a lot going on.
And what's that web address for people who would like to access it?
Thank you. It's ctcip.org.
All right, very good, Aileen. Thank you very much, and hopefully we've raised some awareness here about the initiative this morning.
Thank you so much, Bill.
You're welcome. That's Aileen Yeager, who is Program Manager with the Children with Incarcerated Parents Initiative. That's our program for this morning. I'm Bill Pierce. Join me again next Sunday.
You've been listening to At Home in Connecticut, a public service project produced by WTIC News Talk 1080.